Across the quiet plains of Texas, a war is raging, one that most Americans never see. Every night, millions of feral hogs march across farmlands, tearing through cornfields, destroying irrigation systems, and devouring millions of dollars in crops. If you care about protecting America's farmland and want to see how farmers are fighting back against this unstoppable force, don't forget to subscribe for more real, on-the-ground stories from the front lines of rural America. Texas, America's agricultural heartland. Rich soils, hardworking farmers, and an environment built to feed millions. But beneath that promise lies one of the most destructive forces in modern farming. Feral hogs, also known as wild boars, aren't native to America. They were brought centuries ago by European settlers, but what started as livestock has turned into a biological storm that's now out of control. Biologists estimate that the U.S. is home to more than 1 million wild hogs, and nearly half of them roam in Texas alone. From the Panhandle to the Gulf, their population is spreading faster than almost any invasive species in the country's history. According to agricultural researchers at Texas A&M University, feral hogs cause more than $1.2 billion in economic losses every year across the U.S. Texas alone accounts for nearly 2/3 of that damage. They destroy fences, pump stations, feeding troughs, and newly seeded fields. They contaminate water supplies with bacteria and viruses. And worst of all, they breed faster than any other large mammal in North America. A single sow can have up to 12 piglets per litter, and she can reproduce 2 times a year. That means one pair of hogs can become 100 in just a few short years. In central and eastern Texas, the state's largest corn-growing regions are fighting a losing battle. Farmers wake to find acres of crops mangled overnight, rows of corn flattened, roots ripped up, irrigation lines chewed through. One farmer from Bell County told reporters that in just a single night, hogs destroyed over $15,000 worth of crops on his property. It takes only a few hours for a sounder, a group of hogs, to wreak havoc on an entire field. The most alarming part? The damage is invisible until it's too late. Hogs often hit fields at night, hidden under darkness, and by sunrise, the destruction is done. Wild boars are incredibly intelligent. Studies show they can recognize and remember traps, detect human scent, and even learn to avoid areas where they've been hunted. They operate in groups with a complex social structure, led by dominant females who guide the herd to food sources. Their omnivorous diet makes every farm vulnerable. They eat corn, soybeans, melons, even baby livestock and bird eggs. When crops are low, they turn to small animals or garbage, making them both adaptable and dangerous. With Texas farmland hanging in the balance, farmers and local hunters have turned to strategic daytime hunts. Authorized shooters patrol cornfields equipped with scoped rifles, high-powered optics, and safety spotters. Daytime hunting has 2 major advantages: clearer visibility and safer shooting conditions. Hunters can track hogs as they move across open farmlands without the confusion of night shadows. One hunter shared footage of a 700-pound boar taken during a daylight operation. The animal had already torn through 2 fenced corn plots before he was stopped. At Texas meat market prices, that animal was valued at roughly $3,800, proof that where destruction happens, some see opportunity. But here's the problem. Feral hogs are mostly nocturnal. When the sun sets, the real invasion begins. Farmers describe hearing them moving under starlight, the crunch of hooves, the rustle of stalks breaking, the squeals echoing from deep within the fields. That's why night hunting, powered by drones and infrared technology, has become the new frontier in hog control. Drones equipped with thermal cameras now give hunters a powerful advantage. They can spot a sounder moving through the brush at over half a mile away, even when completely hidden from the naked eye. Hunters then coordinate ground teams using GPS and radio communication to close in. Night hunts have proven twice as effective as daytime efforts, especially in open or recently harvested lands. The element of surprise gives hunters the upper hand. In 2025 alone, Texas drone-assisted night hunts have helped remove more than 120,000 hogs statewide. An impressive figure, but far from enough. When herds spread too wide for ground teams, the battle moves to the sky. Helicopter hunting, Highly regulated and costly is one of the most efficient ways to control large sounders across thousands of acres. Pilots and shooters work in perfect coordination. Flying low across open country, they scan tree lines and creek beds for signs of movement. Once spotted, the pilot drops altitude, hovering steady as the shooters engage. Twin-engine helicopters can cover nearly 20,000 acres in a single day. With the capability to transport multiple hunters, fuel reserves, and tracking equipment, these aircraft are tailor-made for wide area suppression. But it's not cheap. Just one day of aerial hunting can cost around $2,500 to $3,000 per hour, depending on the region. For some ranchers, though, the cost is a small price to save hundreds of acres of cropland. For years, feral hogs were a rural concern, but now they're appearing closer to cities, drawn by garbage, pet food, and unsealed compost piles. Reports of hog sightings have increased in suburban neighborhoods near Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas. A few accidental feedings, someone tossing out leftovers or leaving trash open, can attract them repeatedly. What begins as curiosity soon becomes habit. Once a hog learns that food is easy to find, it brings others. Before long, a quiet neighborhood can find itself the new home of a full wild boar herd. Feral hogs are not only destructive, they are dangerous. They can run at speeds up to 30 miles per hour and carry sharp tusks capable of inflicting serious injuries. Even more concerning are the diseases they can spread. Experts have documented over 30 transferable diseases, including brucellosis, E. coli, and leptospirosis. Serious risks for humans, pets, and livestock alike. One Texas resident learned the risk firsthand after trying to corral a stray boar out of his yard. Within seconds, it charged, and what could have been a harmless encounter turned into a terrifying chase that ended in injuries and property damage. For families living near hog-active regions, prevention begins with responsibility. 1. Never feed wild hogs under any circumstance. 2. Secure garbage, pet food, and compost bins. 3. Use fences. Wooden fences are accessible, affordable, and environmentally friendly. One homeowner near Waco built a simple but sturdy wooden barrier after spotting hogs in his garden. Within days, the break-ins stopped. Wooden fences not only protect from hogs, but also help deter deer, coyotes, and other nuisances. Having a guard dog adds an extra layer of security. Dogs detect intruders before humans do, barking or chasing hogs back into the wild. In several rural communities, dogs serve not only as companions, but as the first defensive line, a natural alarm system for the night. Wild hog management isn't a solo fight, it's a community effort. Many counties across Texas now have rapid response teams that track hog reports and deploy specialists for safe removal. Reporting sightings early helps prevent local herds from growing. Every delayed report adds to the spread as hogs migrate, breed, and multiply at alarming rates. In some cases, trapping programs are organized jointly between landowners and state wildlife departments. Modern corral traps use remote-controlled gates that close only when the entire herd enters, preventing survivors from learning to avoid the traps later. Beyond destroyed crops and broken fences, hogs are reshaping entire ecosystems. Their constant rooting in the soil leads to erosion and runoff that carries pollutants into rivers and creeks. They destroy native vegetation, wipe out wild ground-nesting bird habitats, and compete with deer and turkey for food sources. Texas parks and wildlife specialists are concerned that, left unchecked, feral hogs could permanently alter local ecosystems within the next decade. Control efforts have evolved rapidly. New technologies like motion-activated drones and AI-powered mapping systems are being used to predict where herds will move next. Early detection is key. By studying behavioral patterns such as feeding times, temperature preferences, and travel corridors, researchers hope to create predictive maps that guide hunters and farmers before the problem reaches critical levels. Still, the biggest challenge remains: nature's speed versus human response. Every time a herd is removed, more are born. It's an endless cycle that requires vigilance, education, and cooperation across the state. America's farmland feeds the world. But behind that abundance lies a daily battle few talk about: The war against feral hogs isn't just about crops. It's about protecting an entire way of life. From dusty cornfields to suburban backyards, Texans are standing their ground, innovating, adapting, and fighting back against one of the most destructive invaders in U.S. history. If you believe in protecting the land that feeds us, share this story. Help spread awareness about the silent war happening in America's heartland. Don't forget to subscribe for more real-world stories about wildlife, farming, and the people protecting the land we depend on.